super fast. Lightblinded Vanguard. 3 bosses that you have to try and take down at the same time. Split up your DPS and try and make sure all of them die around the same moment. Shortly after the start of the fight, the War Chaplain is going to rush off on her steed and gain a shield. All players need to focus DPS her down until the shield breaks and then interrupt her cast. If you don't, everybody gets stunned. When each of these bosses reaches 100 energy, they're going to get a big circle around them that you need to pull the other 2 bosses out of. Then you're going to need to deal with a unique effect. First up, the General is going to do a blue aura. This is going to reduce damage taken of all enemies in the circle, so you got to get out ASAP. Then you're going to be dodging these big shields as they come out. If you get hit by them, you get silent. Next up is the Commander. He's going to put up this orangish red aura. Enemies within the aura get massive boosts to their damage output, and then he's going to mark multiple players with soak mechanic. You need to split your raid up into separate groups, each standing into each soak. This splits damage evenly between all targets, and you want to make sure you have at least 3 people in each one to make sure people survive. Finally, War Chaplain is going to do a yellow aura. If you attack a target while within the yellow aura, you get pacified and aren't able to use any of your abilities. Then she's going to begin casting Tyr's Wrath. This will stack a heal absorb on nearby players. You want to rotate who's closest to the War Chaplain, so each player gets a couple of stacks of this heal absorb before rotating out, and a player without the heal absorb gets closer. Healers need to be focused on these targets, making sure everybody can be healed up, and you don't want this heal absorb going on their tanks while they're trying to tank the other 2 bosses. After each ultimate, the bosses leave a consecration on the ground on heroic and higher that does not go away, so you're slowly going to run out of room, keep the bosses hugged up against the previous consecration to maximize space usage. The tank mechanic is a judgement combo. Your 2 tanks should pick up the Commander and the General. The tank mechanic is judgement. First, the General is going to judge her target. This is a long cast that puts a debuff on the target at the end and then does a follow-up that increases damage if they have the debuff. The other tank needs to taunt while judgement is casted. Then the Commander will begin judgement on their target, and the other tank should take that. This is a pretty tight combo, so you make sure your tanks are on top of it. Finally, whenever you lust, the General and the War Chaplain are both going to get Divine Shield, becoming immune to damage for 8 seconds, and the Commander is going to gain Avenging Wrath, increasing his damage output, but taking increased damage. You probably want to lust on pull, focusing a lot of damage into the Commander until the 8 seconds is up, and then splitting your damage back up between all targets. Save your cooldowns until the Divine Shields are gone, and then pop them all 8 seconds into the fight. That should be all you need to know to take down the Lightblinded Vanguard.